a legal appointment. That's what the trustees I talked to are calling this. They say the news took them by surprise, and now they're talking to legal counsel to figure out their next steps.
I am about to address some things as the supervisor. There will be no comments, there won't be anything, it'll just be me addressing you guys to tell you what's going on.
The beginning of the end seems to have arrived for Tiffany Henyard, Dolton, Illinois' self-proclaimed supermayor. A political scandal of immense proportions is unfolding, laden with allegations of financial misconduct, betrayals, and abuse of power. Henyard, whose name has become synonymous with controversy, now finds herself at the center of intensifying investigations that threaten to unravel her reign. Accusations have emerged of her misusing public funds, prioritizing personal gain over public service, and exploiting her position to maintain control. Among the most shocking revelations are reports of extravagant spending, including lavish trips, stays in high-end hotels, and a jaw-dropping $40,000 Amazon shopping spree charged to township credit cards. These revelations have ignited outrage among residents, many of whom struggle with a median income barely sufficient to cover basic expenses. Henyard's leadership style, often described as authoritarian and combative, has deepened divisions within the community. Her fiery public speeches and social media rants against critics have driven a wedge between her and her detractors. While her supporters view her defiance as a display of strength, the growing number of allegations, including predatory behavior, manipulation of township resources, and the suppression of opposition, paint a troubling picture of a leader struggling to maintain control. The fallout from these scandals has eroded public trust and sparked both legal actions and an FBI investigation, leaving Henyard desperately trying to hold on to her position. As controversies continue to mount, Subu is calling for greater transparency and accountability, with both residents and political opponents questioning how Henyard's behavior was allowed to go unchecked for so long. With each new revelation, the narrative of a bold, community-oriented leader is being replaced by a portrait of a politician ensnared in her own web of scandal. For Dolton, the stakes are high as the town faces financial instability and a shattered sense of trust in the wake of Henyard's leadership. Whether this marks the end of her reign or the beginning of a prolonged battle for survival remains to be seen. One thing is certain: the drama surrounding Tiffany Henyard has reached a critical juncture, and the repercussions will extend far beyond the walls of Dolton's government.
New developments in South Suburban Dolton today. First, the state comptroller has suspended some payments to the village because it has failed to follow the law by providing financial reports.
Recent events in South Suburban Dolton have shed light on the escalating drama and dysfunction surrounding Mayor Tiffany Henyard's administration, further destabilizing a community already struggling with financial and political unrest. The Illinois State Comptroller recently delayed payments to the village due to its failure to submit required financial reports, a move that has sent shockwaves through the town and heightened frustrations with local leadership. In response, Henyard called a special meeting that seemed less focused on governance and more geared towards spectacle. Standing alone in a nearly empty room, she delivered a defiant monologue to an absent board of trustees, underscoring her determination to push forward despite mounting opposition. Her fiery rhetoric, filled with dramatic accusations, painted a picture of a leader desperately clinging to power. Henyard's defiant speech, daring her critics to challenge her directly, was made all the more striking by the conspicuous absence of the trustees. This not only highlighted the fractured state of Dolton's leadership, but also symbolized the growing rift between Henyard and those who view her leadership as authoritarian and self-serving. Her solo performance served as a stark reminder of a mayor becoming increasingly isolated and out of touch, reflecting an administration mired in controversy over financial mismanagement and allegations of wrongdoing. The delayed state payments, combined with a lack of financial transparency, have only deepened suspicions about the village's fiscal health under her leadership. Critics argue that her failure to address these concerns further undermines her credibility. Henyard's failure to foster collaboration with the trustees has only deepened Dolton's challenges, leaving critical governance issues unresolved. On the other hand, her supporters saw the meeting as a bold stand against a hostile environment they believed was created to undermine her vision for the community. They praised her resilience and characterized her defiance as a refusal to back down in the face of adversity, framing her actions as a fight for the people of Dolton. However, for the average resident, weary of endless political infighting, the spectacle did little to restore faith in the town's leadership. Many view Dolton's current state as a cautionary tale of what happens when governance breaks down, leaving the community to suffer the consequences of stalled progress and fiscal instability. The delayed state payments have only added to the sense of uncertainty. The delayed state funding, a direct consequence of the village's failure to submit financial reports, has raised serious questions about Henyard's ability to effectively manage Dolton's affairs. As the leadership crisis deepens, many residents are demanding greater accountability and transparency. Dolton now stands at a crossroads, with its future uncertain. The escalating tensions in Dolton trace back to a bold move by the township trustees to curb Mayor Tiffany Henyard's controversial spending habits. Implementing a strict new credit card policy, the trustees, frustrated by what they described as Henyard's use of the township's credit cards as a personal slush fund, aimed to enforce financial accountability. However, Henyard quickly pushed back, accusing the trustees of more than just limiting her spending. She claimed the move was a covert attempt to undermine her leadership and sabotage her efforts. In an impassioned defense, Henyard painted a dire picture, claiming that the new policies would cripple essential township services. She argued that the move wasn't just an attack on her leadership, but on the very foundation of Thornton Township itself. In a dramatic twist, she illustrated her point with an almost absurd example, lamenting that the township couldn't even afford to buy ice cream for a senior social event. "Imagine that!" she exclaimed. "Grandma's ice cream social was cancelled because of politics." The image of elderly residents eagerly anticipating a simple pleasure, only to be denied by political manoeuvring, became a symbol of her defiance. However, Henyard's critics saw the situation differently. To them, the trustees' actions were a necessary response to her alleged misuse of public funds, an issue that had long haunted her tenure. Reports of lavish spending on luxury items and trips had raised serious concerns about her stewardship of public resources. Expenditures ranging from unnecessary travel and expensive dinners to personal luxuries had already painted a damning picture of financial mismanagement in the eyes of Henyard's opponents. The ice cream example, they argued, was simply a distraction from the real issue. A leadership style increasingly seen as self-serving and out of touch with the community's needs. Residents of Thornton Township, caught in the crossfire, watched the unfolding drama with a mixture of frustration and disbelief. While some rallied behind Henyard, viewing her as a steadfast leader under siege, others saw her as the architect of the township's struggles. The battle over the credit card policy became yet another flashpoint in the ongoing saga of a deeply divided township, with Henyard's defiance and the trustees' resolve only pushing the community further into turmoil.
A one-day purchase of over $40,000 to Amazon. And the main thing is,
Carmen Carlisle, once a close ally of Mayor Tiffany Henyard, has stepped into the spotlight as a whistleblower, levelling serious allegations against her former boss that paint a damning picture of predatory and unethical behavior. Alongside her former assistant, Carlisle has exposed what they describe as a systematic exploitation of employees, vendors, and residents by Henyard, all aimed at enhancing her personal influence, while projecting a misleading image of success. According to Carlisle, Henyard has manipulated the very structure of her administration, using the hard work and trust of others to maintain a facade of effective leadership and progress. Beneath this veneer, Carlisle claims, lies a troubling pattern of self-serving decisions that place Henyard's lavish lifestyle above the needs of the community she was elected to serve. Among the most shocking revelations is the claim that Henyard has been funding her extravagant lifestyle, including luxury trips and stays at upscale hotels, at the expense of public resources.